Your course project asked you to pick a topic of your choice and develop a presentation as if you were to present it in front of class in person. I want to briefly review my expectations for this project and provide a little bit of research guidance for it. First of all, my expectations for this project are that you choose a topic that interests you. I want you to essentially teach me and the would-be class about the topic you've chosen. What I don't want is a simple rehash of facts and figures. Instead of showing me knowledge, show me your comprehension of that knowledge and apply it. The point here is strive for critical thinking. Part of what I would like to see is the integration of a reviewed journal article via the online library. Let me show you how to do this via the APUS online library. So here we have the online classroom. From the classroom, over on the left-hand side, you should see a link for library. Let's click on that. What will happen is a new page will open up, and that looks like this. We are going to a research engine that is called EBSCO. So let's do that. Let's click on articles and databases. That will get us to where we want to go. The next window that appears looks like this, and EBSCO is up here on the upper left. This database is great for downloading thousands and thousands of different articles. So you've got access to all sorts of research. Let's click on it. So the great thing about EBSCO is it's almost just like a Google search. So the next window that comes up is this big selection menu. All this is doing is a listing of it lists different databases to which you can search. You probably won't need all of these, such as the Business Sort Complete database. That probably won't have a lot of weather-related articles, but for now, let's just use all the databases, and let's just click Continue on the top of the page. All right, so this next page, like I said, works exactly like a Google search. Except instead of a Google search leading you to Wikipedia or something like that, it leads you to peer-reviewed articles that you can use in not just this class, but all of your classes. So let's say I want to do my Introduction to Meteorology project on tornadoes. So I type in tornadoes at the top of the page. So let's search that. Just that simple search by one keyword, and I come up with, oh my goodness, almost 12,500 articles on tornadoes. How do I possibly know where to start on this? Well, here's where good search words come in handy. Tornadoes here is a very broad topic. Maybe you'd like to understand how wind shear affects tornadoes. So let's type that in here. Tornadoes, wind shear. Okay, let's search on that. And oh, we've got this down to 4. Let's even reduce this further. Let's say we want to predict as well. So let's put tornadoes, wind shear, prediction. It went down from 12,500 articles to just 1 based on these keyword searches. That really wasn't that hard. So okay, now we have 1 article so that we can use. The next step, of course, is not to read the article. Don't just jump in. You may have heard don't judge a book by its cover. That's not necessarily true in terms of journal articles. Go ahead and judge the article by its title. Does it sound relevant? If it doesn't, just ignore it. If it sounds like it could be relevant or you just don't know, the next step is or you just don't know, the next step, don't read the article to find out. Instead, right-click on the article, or on a Mac, I believe it's Apple click, and then open in a new tab. Go to that tab, and it will show some details on that article. Read the abstract. That's really the next step to figure out what is going on. So just 1 paragraph there. The article discusses environmental conditions for the period of May 2003 that were conducive for tornado development. 2 crucial ingredients for generation supercells spawn tornadoes: instability and vertical wind shear. How about that? And let's see. Examine statistical relationship between the lifted index and vertical wind shear and the probability of strong tornadoes. Hey, this might be something you'd like to put inside your project. So this looks like it could be a good article. The next step, of course, is not to read the article. Instead, open it up. For time, you can open it up right here in the PDF. For time, I've got this open. And what I would recommend is scrolling all the way to the bottom to read the conclusion section. Unfortunately, this particular article does not have a conclusion section. That would normally be what you do. Instead, if there's no conclusion section, read the first first couple paragraphs and see whether or not that's relevant for what you are looking for. So let's do one more example. Let's say I want to know why it rains on the weekend. So rainfall, and on weekends. We'll just search that. Only 83 articles. How about that? So let's see if we can narrow this down even more. 83 is a lot to go through. Let's narrow this down just a bit more. Since we want to know about why it rains so often on the weekends, let's put a word like frequency in that search. And we went from 83 to, we expanded our search here. Let's see here. Okay, so putting frequency in the title didn't really help us get narrow down our number of articles. So let's stick with rainfall and weekend as our search. Let's scroll down. Remember, we can judge the books, so to speak, by their cover. We'll scroll down here. Commuters, lightning forecast today, and it's your fault. That's interesting. Let's keep scrolling down until we find one that might fit our what we're thinking about. Down with wet weekends. Let's see. Interesting. Subject rainfall, probabilities, pollution. Interesting. We might click on that. Let's open up that. Remember, read the abstract. Presents facts on the amount of rainfalls in the weekend. Scientific explanation on the formation of rain clouds, roles of pollutants and weather changes. Hey, this sounds like what we're doing. So the next step, of course, is not to read the entire article. Just open up the article, PDF, and take a look at the conclusion section. If there's no conclusion section, take a look at the intro. Most of the time, you don't actually have to read the entire article to find some great information. So keep that in mind. Don't be overburdened by the amount of work you might have to do for when we talk about research. It's really can be pretty quick. Remember, you can also use figures from the article you find in your research, but if you take those figures out, make sure you cite those as well in your project. The whole point here, of course, is trying to help you out with your research project. Hopefully what I've shown here will help you with that. But if not, just here, hopefully it will help you do some research in future courses. So I am all ears. I'm excited to see what might happen in what you're going to present in your projects. Remember, since you don't actually present your project in front of me and in front of the class, be sure to type what you would say in the notes section below the slides. Or if you're more technically savvy, use the record narration feature in the PowerPoint to actually talk through your presentation. So I look forward to seeing those guys.